All right, good morning, agents. This is Kevin Lauren. I'm the Director of Training and Marketing here. And today we're going to talk about the importance of professional photography in your real estate marketing. So a lot to talk about with this particular topic, and it's a very important one. So really excited about today. Also want to welcome the new agents that we have on the line today. We've got Helen Gooding. Welcome, Helen. We've got a bunch of other of new agents on the line, so it's great to see as usual. So welcome, guys. Hope you guys enjoy what we have to say today. And before we get into our presentation today, I'm going to bring Cameron Alley from Clearview Mortgage on the line. And Cameron's going to go over what's going on out there in mortgage land today. How are you doing this morning, Cameron?
Good, Kevin. How's it going?
Very well, thanks.
Can't believe it's Wednesday already.
I know. Time flies.
Cool. So, yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet today. Just really wanted to kind of give you guys a little update on what's going on with rates. Yesterday, we had rates drop to the lowest that they've been since January 31st with a really significant drop. But this morning, we're up 14 basis points again. So we literally lost all the gains that we had yesterday. So basically the importance of what's going on in the market right now is make sure, like, today there's a Fed meeting and Powell speaking, and basically he already had a conversation this morning where he said that despite the Ukraine and Russia war and the price on energy, they're still planning on having the first rate hike be this month. So on a day like this, make sure that any clients that you might have that are in escrow and maybe the lender has not locked, make sure to communicate with them and confirm that they have locked, because today is probably the last day that we're going to see the Treasury kind of, a little stabilized. Because if they actually give the go on this rate hike, you're going to see a pretty significant jump. So basically make sure that you're communicating with anybody. Make sure you call and see, okay, are these clients locked in? Are these clients locked in? Because as of today, the 10-year is still 14 basis points lower than it was on Monday. So basically pricing is still pretty good at this moment. So it's very, very important. Just make sure you reach out, communicate, and know that these are all locked in. Because if they, after this meeting, basically they're speaking to the House today and the Senate tomorrow. So we're going to see two pretty volatile days. So that's pretty much really what I wanted to get across today. Didn't want to take too much of your time. Just make sure that you reach out and make sure all your clients are ready to go if they're in escrow, and you should be good to go. So, but anyways, thank you so much for your time, guys, and I will see you next week.
All right, sounds great, Cameron. And of course, easy way to get a hold of Cameron is Cameron@cvmloans.com. And if you go to the website, you can also get there too. So don't hesitate to reach out to Cameron.
Yep. And one more thing to add too, guys, at CVM, basically, if we have docs, most of the time to get a docs loan submitted and locked and get a locked loan estimate out takes, anywhere from 48 to, 72 hours, depending on the lender. If we have docs, we get them in and we get them locked. We can do that within, 15 minutes of importing the loan and getting approval 15 minutes later. So just keep that in mind. We're always here to help and, just give you some helpful advice. So even if it's just questions on a different loan scenario that you're working with someone else. So have a great Wednesday, everybody.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Cameron. Really appreciate it.
You got it, Kevin.
All right, cool. So now we're going to switch gears and we're going to bring Paulo onto the line with us. Paulo is the owner of PreviewFirst, and he is our go-to photography vendor for the Southern California market. So let me bring on Paulo. Good morning, Paulo. How are you doing today?
Good, Kevin. How are you doing?
Fantastic. It is great to have you back. I think the last time we had you on was maybe a year and a half ago or more.
Yeah, it's amazing how time does fly, right? We all joke around about that, but I don't want to, offend anybody, but I'm in my 50s and I feel like things are speeding up a little bit. So maybe I'm
too much.
I don't know, but generally I always ask my kids, and they always just say, hey, yeah, it just seems to be that we're all busy and look up and it's the end of the day type thing. So yeah, I think it's really important to be deliberate, and obviously that's a great segue for me to be discussing being deliberate with your marketing. So particularly with the inventory remaining in crisis mode. We're thankfully, we work with a lot of busy agents like yours. And we've been extremely busy, but that's not the case for everybody. And a lot of our top producing agents who hadn't in the past been checking the boxes for some of the virtual marketing solutions we're offering have noticed the big platforms, kind of looking to listings and this, and that's actually, I'll demonstrate today, there's definite changes to their algorithms, their search algorithms and placement algorithms that prioritize and give preferential sort, S-O-R-T, I got an accent, placement for listings with this kind of virtual marketing. And it's not just Zillow who was doing it, 6 years ago. It's all of them now. So all the major platforms where all the eyeballs are. I mean, there's a couple other minor ones that haven't seemed to pick up on what Google and everybody else is noticing with consumer behavior with regards to property searches and where they linger, because they're tracking every aspect, all the analytics that they're tracking when you're on these websites is deep. So just be aware of it. And then also in regards to the opportunity for you as an agent listing and on the buy side too, I think it's important information for you to be aware of. So I'm going to kind of go over some of that today. And then, hopefully you determine, if we're a good fit for you. And I appreciate the fact that, we're your photography partner, but, people have their favorite photography team. So if you do, I'm not looking to, well, actually, quite frankly, I am looking to disrupt that. I'm a salesperson.
Right.
But hopefully it makes sense to you. And if you are willing to, stick with whoever you're sticking with, make sure they're at least giving you what I'm going to cover today. Or at least bring it up with them and point out some things to them. And hopefully they can provide it to you. If they can't, my team would love to support you. So
that's a great way to put it, Paulo, for sure.
Cool. Yeah, very diplomatic, right?
Right.
Okay. So I'm trying to start the video. Let's see. Let's start.
Yeah, you should be able to share your screen. I'll stop my share.
Yeah, because I'm kind of stuck there with my, with that unnatural looking smile of mine there. Let's see.
Yours and mine both. Yeah, so right below that, you should see a little green share screen button.
Okay,
now.
sweet. All right, great. Okay, so let me move that over. All right, great. Okay.
Excellent. Now we can see your screen.
Okay, great. So I'm going to kind of cover a couple things here. So, and then just let me know, Kevin, in the sense, what kind of time period do I have to kind of go through this? Just so I'm being respectful.
Yeah, about 20 minutes would be great. We sometimes our webinars go a little over, a little under. So whatever is comfortable for you.
Yeah, and then if there's a Q&A section to it, I'll try and a little sooner than that, just so that there's a Q&A section. So,
that's perfect. And I also, also, I will remind everybody, we do have a chat feature. So if there is, things that come up during the presentation, don't hesitate to put it in the chat, and I will do my best to put those in front of Paulo. Okay, awesome. And then, what was I going to say? Yeah, so we'll cover, and then again, I do deep dives on this. I mean, as far as deeper dives on the material that we're going to cover here. And then we do have kind of scripts and stuff and little bits of information that I'll share with you afterwards, Kevin. I'll email over to you, and then your agents can carve out whatever they feel is useful or discard whatever they feel is just, clutter in regards to their listing presentations. But I will tell you that the vast majority of top producing agents, and I work with some of the busiest agents in real estate in North America. A lot of them do business here in Southern California. And we work with record listings, celebrity listings, that one that was in Forbes, and we often in Wall Street Journal with the kind of properties and the clients that we work with. Our clients have shows on Bravo. So we know what we're doing with this stuff. Okay. And photos, even though we do incredible listing videos and we offer Matterport 3D and virtual staging, virtual declutter, virtual remodel, and I'll show you examples of that. Photos are still king in real estate. Like, 95% of surveyed, and that's NAR, Realtor.com. They've all done Zillow. They all do their surveys and research studies on what consumers are looking for when shopping for property. And it's by far, it's photos. So we'll cover that too. So we know what we're doing with real estate photography. We believe we're the top regional team in the country doing it. And again, as mentioned, if you see our work, we work with the Joyce Rays and the Fitzgeralds in Beverly Hills and the groups, and that we work with, that one I mentioned earlier, Maricel. They were planning on going to market at $99 million for this lot in Montecito. Somebody reined them in, and they only went to market at $78 million.
for this one, but that's all PreviewFirst photography video. So if you're familiar with that one, that's our work. The Altmans, if you're familiar with them, as mentioned. So look, we know what we're doing with this stuff. So we're excellent at photography, but we started offering 3D tours about maybe about 7-8 years ago, when it kind of Matterport first started getting some traction. And the general opinion of our clients were, we don't like these. We don't like 3D. We feel that they're, somewhat cumbersome. It's a little difficult to navigate around properties with them. Where is the one I was wanting to show you guys here with that one particular 3D example? And we'll cover, I'm kind of jumping over a couple things here because I want to show you kind of some of the new numbers that are coming out supporting 3D, even though a lot of my clients don't like it. Typically, I would, with regards to marketing, I go, well, what's your target audience and do they like it? And the target is a consumer, and they absolutely love 3D. They're looking for immersive media to fully evaluate their investment, right? As far as if they're considering one property or the other. I mean, we'll cover this in a bit, but Matterport did a survey with 1,000 buyers and 1,000 sellers. 82% of the surveyed sellers said they would switch agents if they were offering more immersive marketing. I mean, in the Gen Zs, it was just ridiculous. So we'll jump back to that in a bit. So yeah, we have clients that say, hey, look, I don't like this stuff. I feel it negates the need for me. It's kind of a 24/7 open house. And yeah, maybe. But it's what consumers are looking for. It's what the big platforms now are featuring and highlighting. You do a search for anything, like any city, homes for sale in Dana Point. I mean, it's without fail, you're gonna find the big platforms are featuring properties first. They're presenting on the cookies on the lower shelf, the properties with 3D. Okay, it looks to be the algorithms are the if then else with their programming. Seems to be if there's 3D, then they populate the search results with the 3D. If it's video, then it's video, then it's virtual tour, then it's open house, is what it looks like to me, to us. So again, check this out, do a search, whatever your market is, Corona, wherever. I know you got agents all over, North America, but check it out. It seems to be the ones that I've searched around in Southern California, without fail, it seems to be the case. And then even go on the major platforms. The big platforms are presenting properties with virtual tours first. Like they've noticed that consumer demand is significantly high. It remains extremely high for properties, for listings with this kind of immersive marketing. So because quite frankly, all the surveys that are coming out, consumers don't trust photos alone. Photoshop's an incredible tool.
Yes, it is.
As we know. So, and we're somewhat orthodox in our architecture photography, but I mean, go to my website, and quite frankly, I mean, we try and keep, natural shadow but these images don't look like this. If you and I stood in this space and looked at these properties during the day, they don't look like we make them look, in a sense. We have to use flash. So, but we do it in a very artful way. We blend it in. Naturally, if you're in the space, there's reflections and there's all this stuff coming through those windows. The human eye is incredible. We have 20 subsystems that allow us to see what we see, but a camera has one lens and one sensor. So we do exposure bracketing. We also do flash. But there's an artful way you blend it in. So you're highlighting objects in the space, but you're not making it obvious that there's flash that's being used. So, and unfortunately, there's a lot of hacks out there that call themselves professional photographers. And it's kind of the same thing as, go buy a professional set of pot and pans and you're not a cordon bleu chef. So it takes years and years. And then my team, who are exceptional, don't edit my photos. We have an editing team and that's all they do. That's what they went to school with. They're graphic artists. They're graduated and trained in what they do. And that's why we keep consistent product, and you can bank on PreviewFirst consistency with regards to the products that we deliver to you. So there's a method to our madness. So anyway, so just be aware of the stuff, and it's still by far the #1 demanded shopping feature by home shoppers. So, and I've gone over this, I think kind of we've done this before with a little bit with you, in a sense. Again, I'm going to share this with you, Kevin, so you can share this with the agents. If we are part of your marketing solution, we need to be part of the pitch, because we are the premier team here in Southern California. We do work with the record listings and the celebrity listings. And if you are using us, you're using one of the top teams in North America for real estate photography. And that should speak to the kind of quality of service you deliver to your clients.
For
Okay.
sure. And real quick, we got 2 little comments in the chat.
Sure.
So I just want to go over them. So first of all, Ann Harris, one of our agents in Orange County, she says that she's been using PreviewFirst for several years now and for all of her listings. And she says that they do a great job consistently, and also the prices are reasonable. So thank you for that, Ann. She's been using you guys for a long time, so she's a good testimonial.
Hey, thank you, Ann. I appreciate that.
And then one more, Helen Gooding, who's a brand new agent with us. Welcome again, Helen. She says that she's had clients accuse their seller of bait and switch due to overdeveloped Photoshopped properties. And she says, I have to explain that it's the seller, that it's not the seller, it's the photographer, LOL.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, we're all tempted. I mean, so look, there's also a reality behind how long we can spend with these images because we're a business, right? So, and we actually do offer another service that is, it's called Next Level, and it's $75 a photo. And we allow our editing team, to pour over those images and perfect them, right? So that's like cover shot photography. So, but it's just like anything, you go to a detailer, and then this is going to be included in what, in the summary that I'll be sending to you, Kevin, but this is what comes with your PreviewFirst account. A lot of agents have their own preferred platform to use as far as like, their single domains for their properties, but every shoot does include a branded and an unbranded property website. That's pretty strong SEO and some other benefits that come with our shoots. But so we are reasonable, and there's other benefits that you may not have been aware of that come with your PreviewFirst account. So, yeah, I mean, you go into a car detailer, and you say, hey, I want a $50 detail, and expect a $100 detail. It's just not this is not reality, right? So, because that team that's pouring over your Mercedes or whatever it is, has been afforded more time to perfect their service. So PreviewFirst, we do the very best possible with like comprehensive photography, because we offer a couple different service levels, as far as photography goes, is exceptional architectural photography for the price, compare it with anybody else out there. That's high level, world-class quality photography. And then we offer luxury photography, which is affords my team more time on site. And then plus, we also spend more time in post-production editing, but we always retain the natural looking representation of that space, if that makes sense. So if you are a buyer and you go there, we make that photo pop. We sharpen it with all the blending we do, as far as delivering clear views. But if you walk into that space, the color palette better be accurate. And that's what we are big on: color accuracy, color consistency from photo to photo. And if you're not getting that, you absolutely need to reevaluate who you're using, because it's important to consumers. It's important to home shoppers. So I shared with you that some of the numbers are coming back, and they're staggering on, even during the lockdown, the open house restrictions, how much time home shoppers are spending looking at photos and how little they spend on the description of the property, in comparison. So it still is, again, a big key component of their home shopping experience is the photo. So, and again, I'm just harping on about this because it is really important. Everybody's become so focused on the video, and Tom Ferry and the Brian Buffinis, and hey, get video going, video. And it's important, but don't discount the vital importance of great listing photos first. And on your portfolio, you can go take photos with your cell phone nowadays. You'll get 10 offers. The home will sell over asking. But the next time you're in the living room and someone's evaluated your website and your past, marketing, you're compromising future sales.
Oh, that's the big one right there, Paulo. And I talk about that all the time. You're using these photos for additional marketing. It's not just to sell this home, right? You're using this, in a lot of your marketing going forward. And people, when you're having a listing presentation, they want to see what you did in the past. So I say that even a lower price point home, treat it like a higher price point home. So we have an agent, Crystal Burns, out there in the Inland Empire, and she does exactly that because she wants to sell $1 million homes. She's fairly new to the business, and she has her eyes set on that, those multi-million-dollar price points. So she's treating her $400,000, sales like they were $1 million price points,
No, absolutely. I mean, again, it's just smart marketing. It's investing in yourself you're constantly in a branding campaign. I mean, your branding campaign is a marathon, right? So until the point you retire. So so you can't compromise on that. Even with leases, we have clients that still order for their leases. They'll order, some of them will order luxury photography, and then they'll just go with, say, the 6 or the 10 photo package, but because they want consistency with their footprint, their digital footprint that's out there. So and just again, given that most consumers spend 6 to 9 weeks online vetting you, and they really have one agent in mind when they start that search anyway. And it's kind of like they're just probably being a good steward, and they're going to go, okay, you know what, let me look around and see who else is in my marketplace. Who's the other busy agents in my space, in my neighborhood? And so you better be constantly on top of mind with digital, traditional, where you're on the big platforms, you're branding, you're opening up with whoever it is, Crystal Burns presents, and then close with your closing contact on Zillow, on Redfin, on Realtor.com with your videos. And then be in their face, in their mailbox with the just listers, and all of that are touch points, right? So if you're layering it with digital, traditional, social, it's all touch points. And ultimately the stuff that's in the mail ends up in the trash, but it does impact. You cannot fight subliminal marketing. You just can't. You just cannot fight it. It's innate. It's that's why they pay. I mean, most of the Super Bowl commercials I barely look at, but it's still, whether I like it or not, there's a psychological imprint that happens, and that's why they spend, what is it, $2 million for 30 seconds. So it's so important. The big picture here, which is kind of like here, it's all about promoting you and differentiating you, right? 70-something% less inventory out there. You better be making a first impression in a major way. You have 0.7 seconds for that first impression. You have 21 retries to reset that first impression. Okay. Yeah. Your marketing is critical. So, anyway, so I'm going to move through this quicker because I suffer from a lack of brevity in general. So,
that's okay, Paulo. This is really good stuff. And literally you're preaching to the choir over here. This is all the stuff we talk about, but it's really important to affirm this stuff in our minds. So this is awesome.
Okay. So like I drilled down, my apologies. I ad nauseum on photos, right? But video and 3D is also important, as demonstrated on the big platforms. We've had some agents that have backed off. We quadrupled in sales in our 3D. I mean, I have a large team. There's over 40 of us. And we quadrupled in our sales in 3D during COVID. It's backed off to about 200% since open house restrictions were lifted. But the big platforms are still giving this incredible promotion to properties with 3D. And I don't understand, why we've seen this back off. Again, our busy agents are still checking all those boxes, just so you know. And I'm talking the agents that do 40, 50, 100 plus listings a year, those type of agents. They have enough market momentum that you think that they can start kind of, being a little more constrained with their marketing budgets, but they're not. They're pushing in. So any good marketer pushes in when things are tight because they're grabbing market share. So that's the other consideration that I think people need to bear in mind in regards to why am I checking all these boxes? I don't need to. I could take photos on my cell phone. I'd get multiple offers, and quite frankly, I think you would. It's that the demand is that high. Things are simmering a little with the rates, but anyway, so it's about the living room. It's about your digital footprint. It's about your branding campaign. Okay. It's how the big platforms are treating your brand and your listings. So, okay. So power video, the listings with video, 300% more views. We're also seeing a shift on the big major platforms to the social media platforms, and a lot of interest on Instagram, and a lot of success stories that I'm hearing from clients. And we are working on a social media solution. So just be aware, it's more of a kind of a teaser announcement kind of design video, about 30 seconds, and it's all about booking appointments, and it's coming soon. So if you're out there shooting these yourself for social media, good job. Try to do them as professionally as possible. But yeah, so video, I mean, it's the trajectory on video consumption is north. Okay. If you're looking at my mouse cursor here in 2022, by the end of 2022, I think it was Cisco is predicting 80% of all web traffic is video content. Wow. That's 1,500% higher than it was in 2017. So video should be part of your marketing solution. If it's not, you need to really reconsider why it is not. As I mentioned, 3D too. So, and then the big platforms, this one, of course, based upon, the the structure here. You know, it's getting 170 million to 180 million eyeballs a month. You absolutely should be adding video to it. Whenever you shoot with us, we deliver a branded version of your video to you, of course, and an unbranded version, but we deliver the branded version also to the Zillow group. And it goes out, you'll get an email as a listing agent to approve and publish your video. And there are a whole bunch of benefits on their platform for you to brand your video for free on their platform. Okay, whether you like them or not, 170 to 180 million eyeballs. You know, so, and you should be doing that too on Redfin and Realtor.com. So, and not always the MLS plays nice with the feeds to those platforms. So, you know, always try go live if you're doing photo, video, and aerial with us, or photo 3D and video with us. Make sure my team's delivering all of the media assets to you before you go live. So if we're delivering 3D, and if you're, you know, and we've also seen, and I'll cover this too, because some of our clients will grab the virtual tour link, which is the virtual tour property URL that's up here. And they'll grab that and they'll think that that is where they need to put that for the 3D. And it shows up on the platforms as a virtual tour. So make sure my team delivers a separate Matterport 3D share link. Make sure you're clicking on that. I'll show you that, for example. So it's not, as you can see, it's also luxury homes too that are, I mean, we have $30–40 million properties where agents are ordering 3D for. So, you know, it's again, highly immersive. Usually these types of homes are peppered with features and upgrades. And with the Matter Tag posts, you can tell consumers all about the features and the upgrades in the home. You can put links to the Blue Ribbon School District. There's so much you can do with them. But the share link is down here. So if you ever like confused as to, and it's very obvious, which is the link to put into the appropriate field on the MLS, you can always go to the 3D tour itself. And then in those little nubs down there that you saw on the bottom right, just grab the share link. And that's what you need to put in for the Matterport field to show up on the big platforms as a 3D tour. So like, you know, the 3D tours versus the videos, right? So, and the virtual tours, just to, because there is, I see daily, I see this for, and some of our busy agents too. So there's a little bit of confusion with this. And again, the big platforms are giving preferential treatment to properties with 3D. So,
yeah, and then also, guys, remember that those we have the ability on our agent marketing websites, you know, our single property websites, to include all these links. There's spots to put those. So if you're confused, of course, you know, schedule an appointment with me, ask me how to do it. Super easy. Once you do it once, you're done.
And Kevin, another thing I don't know how many of your agents are CRMLS, where they're primarily listed in, you know, CRMLS territory, but they're one of the very few, and they're the largest MLS in the US that allows for branded content too, in the appropriate sections too. So I don't know if your system feeds to that, but if it's not, I also discover a lot of our clients are not taking advantage of that, and they've been doing business for years and years, and putting the branded virtual tours and content we're delivering to you into the branded section, right? And they're like, what are you talking about? So apparently it's not generally known that CRMLS allows for that. Of course, in the appropriate section, we don't want you getting violations, but it goes to like 80+ outlets. So that's another tip there if you're not doing that. So
yeah, great point.
And also just know floor plans too. The algorithm searches for floor plans too and tells consumers you have floor plans. So it's $30 to add a floor plan to your 3D. So when you add 3D, you're getting 50% off the published rate, and then it's $30 more to get a detailed schematic floor plan. It's within 1% of the structure. That's how detailed it is. So, and then here's some of the data supporting why you should be adding it. And you should know this data if you are in your listing presentations. So, I mean, these are big numbers that consumers, buyers on the buyer side and seller side are looking for 3D. So, you know, and then plus the big platforms have noticed a dramatic increase in the amount of 3Ds being viewed, and Zillow too. It's not just Redfin, Realtor.com too. So, and I'm kind of flying here because I've gone way over my 20 minutes. Let me
that's okay, buddy.
Get to the end here. So, okay. So, and then we are also shooting a lot of vacant space, and it's not just tract homes, it's luxury too. So we offer virtual staging. It's $50 an image. You know, I'm sure everybody has to be very familiar with this one. and I've got an example down there too in the summary that I'll be sending to you to give you an idea, but it really does help consumers. Like you may choose modern. So we have a style guide that you can select from, modern, architect, as far as coastal, modern, urban, traditional, farmhouse. And you just let my team know which photos you want us to stage for you. And we do it in an incredible way, at a real high level. And it's very popular too. And again, as examples, well, we stage the foreground, midground, and the background of the photo, but it is per photo. So it can get expensive, if you're wanting to do the whole shoot. And we had some clients do that. I would just say pick a couple of those, photos in the beginning that consumers are going to see. It'll give them an idea as to what that space looks like. And we shadow for natural light, artificial light. I've seen some hacks that don't even scale the furniture that they're putting in. They're floating above the carpet. So we do it at a real high level. And then we added virtual declutter too.
Holy smokes.
The disclaimer there, that's not the same space. This is downtown San Diego, if you're familiar with this, but yeah, this is done for dramatic effect. But here's some examples, some real examples, because our clients are dealing with a lot of home offices. People who are still working from their homes, they don't want to, or they can't remove that office furniture. We'll do it virtually, and then we'll stage in whatever is the preferred style. They don't want to remove granny's whatever, piece of furniture. We'll remove it virtually. We can completely remodel a space in a sense, and update it. And then, again, these are examples, of course, that we've dealt with. This was a shoot up in Santa Barbara. And then I mentioned remodel. Here's a Laguna Beach. I think this one was on the market. It's like a $15 million listing. They pulled the plug on the remodel. My team worked closely with the designer, the interior designer, and we finished the space virtually for our client, and they went to market and sold this property. So just be aware of what we're capable of and what's available from us. So, and then I see this too, where sometimes whether it's an access issue, or just maybe it's cost considerations you can't afford, or don't want to add a twilight only photo shoot to your daytime photos. I highly recommend it because consumers are drawn to primary colors. And there's a lot of solutions out there that I'm seeing. They don't deal with the shadows on the buildings and the grass and the highlights, like in the pool area. They don't turn the lights on inside the home. So we do a sky swap. It's not the same as doing an actual twilight shoot, but for $25, it does get attention. It's a cost saver for sure. Our twilight only photo shoots a $300 service. It's an after hours service. So and then we do a good job with dealing with the highlights. There's a lot of time that my team spends poring over this image to give it a twilight-ish look, like it was shot at twilight. And we don't do it just for, we do it for a variety of different properties. We also do it for aerial. So again, it can definitely enhance the shoot, whether you just don't have it in the schedule or the budget. To get us out there at twilight, we can do a faux twilight for you. So
okay. And again, Paulo, just a few, right? You don't have to do the whole.
No, yeah, for sure.
You can choose a few of the shots, and that's good. Yeah.
So no, absolutely. I mean, and again, it's ultimately just be aware of what's trending. I mean, I'll share this study with you too. Again, just be aware of what consumers are looking for. Be aware of some of their concerns with the traditional marketing that's out there. We've got a lot of agents just photo only and their normal, approach to market. You should have pivoted. A lot of agents pivoted, March of 2021. A lot of them didn't. And a lot of them that pivoted have grabbed significant market share. I can do upwards of 80 to 100 shoots a day. So we've grown as a team during COVID, just so you know. And I'm doing more virtual marketing than ever in our entire 18-year history. So a lot of these agents recognize the opportunity to differentiate themselves and in a sense also grab market share. So I'm going to stop sharing now, but that concludes my spiel. But yeah, I mean, I'm open to any questions. I mean, we do a variety of different, so if you go on the website too, another thing I would tell you, and I would have liked to share this, but scroll down on the homepage, the landing page, and you'll see Doug and Rachel, if you're familiar with the Swatstrom group. And again, I apologize, I'm mentioning people outside your brand, but if you know these groups, they're highly successful. but they also watch very closely in regards to what their consumers are looking for in their respective markets. And consumers do like a little bit of community context. So, and they also, whether you think you don't sound good or look good, they do want to know you, particularly if you're not the agent in mind. And 70% of the time they're going with one agent who they dealt with before. Okay, so, or 80% actually, I think that the number's even higher. So you got to be in their space, in their face consistently. So I highly recommend what they did and they do for every single one of their listings. And there's other multiple, if you know Maxine Gellens, she's often on Tom Ferry's stage, 83-year-old, I think 1.5 to 2 million GCI every year. She's just a rock star, and she likes to mic up and introduce herself. Everybody in her space who you think would know her. And she does what's called an agent introduction and an agent outro with call to action. It's $75 to add it to a video shoot with us, and it doubles and triples engagement. So just be aware of what else I would highly recommend and suggest. And most agents, Kevin, are most people, it's the number one fear of humanity, is public speaking and thinking I don't look good or sound good, and most consumers really don't care to the level you think they care. So they want to relate to you, and that's what the stats and the video analytics points to. So I'd also recommend that too to close these suggestions.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, that's me.
Well, excellent. Well, I really appreciate that. So we do have a couple of quick questions. First of all, we do have a lot of agents in the Northern California market. Is there any kind of solution that you have for those guys up there?
Oh yeah, like I said, I'm a total capitalist. I'd love to support that. We had plans to expand up there, and COVID kind of shut down some of our expansion plans. So unfortunately, not right now. I don't know. I know of another outfit that does similar work to us, but I'd hate to recommend them because I have seen inconsistent work from them. Yeah, there's solutions out there that offer the comprehensive kind of. We have core services like, photo, video, aerial. We're not strong in social media. We're working on that as far as social media, targeted, marketing. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a solution right now. We're working on it. And we were about to launch like in Arizona and in Nevada. We launched in Denver recently with the plans to expand throughout Colorado. So so stay tuned. But right now, unfortunately, we're Santa Barbara County to San Diego County, all the way out to Palm Springs and the Arizona border. So all of Southern California. There's 40 some odd of us that are shooting, in those 8 counties in Southern California. But unfortunately, that's just it right now outside of Denver. So. Got it.
So, so I will keep the agents apprised of any progress in that respect. So
yeah, absolutely.
All right, good. Well, I don't see any other specific questions, but guys, don't hesitate to contact Paulo, contact his team. They do a great job, as you can see. And, it really does make a big difference in the way that you're presenting your listings and the way that you're presenting your business. So really important stuff. Like I said, I will put out all of the information that Paulo provides for us in our replay. And so I will get that out to everybody. Paulo, again, thank you so much for coming on the webinar. Really good info. I really appreciate it.
Okay, my pleasure. And yeah, thank you everybody for the support. And like Kevin said, my apologies, I didn't put in my information, but it'll be in that summary that I'll be sending to you, Kevin. So always feel free to connect with me or any of my team. We have we have little beams of sunlight. I often hear that, and when I'm at corporate, I'm just amazed at, I don't know what everybody's drinking over there, but effervescent, and we all have enough hypertension. So we're here to support you. We're here to be a problem solver partner of yours. And we'd love to support you, of course, with marketing and increasing your success out there. So it's been my pleasure today, Kevin.
Well, perfect. Again, thanks so much, Paulo. Agents, thanks for joining us again. And we will see you guys next Wednesday on the webinar. Get out there, make it a great week and a productive week. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.